Welcome to AIM Products for Nutrition That Works with AIM Biologist and Quality Assurance Manager, Philip German.
Welcome everyone to today's podcast. Today we're going to be discussing a product that is really special to me, CalciAIM. CalciAIM was developed in 2008, and I was specifically part of the formulation of this product. It was the first product that I formulated for AIM. I did it in cooperation with two other scientists. One was a exercise and physical education, not teacher, but he was a professor at a university in Utah. And the other one was a chemist. And the three of us put together this formulation, and I'm really proud of it. And it really benefits a lot of people. If you're not familiar with CalciAIM, it's a natural citrus drink mix. So it's a powder. You mix it with water, and it provides numerous nutrients for proper skeletal function and overall wellness. And what we did during this formulation is we determined the most beneficial types of calcium and the most effective method of delivering these nutrients. So we've got calcium, we've got magnesium, zinc, copper, all these minerals. We needed a good way to get them into the system and to be absorbed. Now, one of the issues that can occur with our body is being able to absorb these types of minerals. It can be difficult, especially as we age. So the delivery system was key. And because it's a drink mix, it is probably the most important part of the product. And we could have put this in a capsule. We could have put it in a caplet. But when we're talking about minerals, that actually dampers our body's ability to absorb and digest these minerals. So one of the first things that you'll experience when you try CalciAIM is it's a very tart citrus flavor. And the first time you drink it, you may be a little bit surprised by the tartness. It can be extreme to begin with, but that extreme tart flavor actually serves a great function. The tartness is part of what breaks down some of these minerals before we even drink the glass of CalciAIM. So CalciAIM contains calcium lactate, calcium gluconate, and calcium carbonate. Now, when we look at these three forms of calcium lactate is really a highly soluble form of calcium, and it's bioavailable throughout the entire digestive tract. Calcium gluconate, again, it's very highly soluble. It's really important in the inhibiting of kidney stones. So it's a really important type of calcium to have. It actually has been shown to stimulate bifidobacteria within the intestine. So it goes back to our other products like FloraFood as a probiotic and Fit and Fiber as a prebiotic. So it's a really great way to incorporate three products together. Now, the last one, calcium carbonate, it has a stigma behind it as being a very poorly absorbed form of calcium. And I like calcium carbonate. And the reason I like it is because in the formulation of CalciAIM, it is an easily digestible and soluble form of calcium. And here's why. The pH of CalciAIM is between 4.0 to 4.2, so it's a slightly acidic drink. The acid in there is able to break the bonds of calcium. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about calcium lactate, okay? You have calcium, and then you have a salt, which is called the lactate, and it actually is bonded to the calcium. So you think of two bodies that are bound together. The acidity of CalciAIM was put in there to actually create a chemical reaction within the formula to break the bond between calcium and lactate. Again, the same bond is broken between calcium and gluconate, and even the poorly absorbed calcium carbonate, that bond is broken. So what we're doing in the glass, when we mix it with water, when water is added, we're creating a chemical reaction. And chemical reactions occur within our body every day. So it's no different than what's occurring in the body. We're just doing it in the glass before we drink it. So we're breaking mineral bonds. We're creating ionic calcium. Ionic calcium is the calcium that our body can actually absorb. We don't actually absorb calcium lactate. We absorb calcium. So let's think of somebody young, okay? They've got a great digestive health, and they consume calcium lactate. Well, their stomach, it's got a great acid profile, and it breaks that bond between calcium and lactate, and they're able to absorb that ionic calcium. But as we age, our digestive system maybe isn't as healthy as it once was and can't quite break those bonds as well. So when we talk about a very absorbable form of calcium, like calcium lactate, it's because when it goes into our body, it's a little bit easier to break the bond. Calcium carbonate's a little bit harder to break. But we're doing it in the glass. We're doing the work for you. The work's being done in the glass when you mix it with water. Those bonds are broken, ionic calcium is available, and we can easily absorb it. The same process is occurring with the magnesium, the zinc, the copper. All these bonds are being broken. Now, you say, well, I can't see these bonds being broken. How do I know the bonds are being broken? When you mix your CalciAIM up in the glass with water, you might notice a few little bubbles pop to the top. That is an indication of that chemical reaction occurring. So what's happening is a little bit of CO2 is being released when the bond is broken. And that is when the H2O is actually combining with the citric acid and the, say, calcium carbonate in the formulation. Now, if we go to the physician's desk reference and we actually consult it, it says, and I quote, the average person can only absorb 20% of calcium from tablets, 30% from capsules. Solubilized in a beverage, calcium powder provides 98% of its bioavailable elemental calcium to the body. 98% is bioavailable compared to 20 and 30%. So if you're consuming a tablet, a capsule, even a calcium chew, which is really popular now, you're not getting the same absorbability and bioavailability as you are from a beverage because you're not creating elemental calcium or ionic calcium. And that's what we're creating in CalciAIM. Now, I urge you to go look for a product like CalciAIM. There's nothing else like it out in the marketplace. You won't find it. And what we've seen in the sales of CalciAIM is that over the last 11 years, this product continues to grow year after year after year. People are introduced to it, they see the benefits, they feel the benefits, and there's lots of great science behind how this product works. One of the other things that I wanted to touch on with CalciAIM, and it sounds weird, but CalciAIM is very alkalizing to the body. Now, it has a very low pH, 4.0 to 4.2, so it tastes very acidic, but it has an alkalizing effect on the body. The reason it's alkalizing is because its potassium levels, its magnesium levels, and its calcium levels. These minerals have an alkalizing effect on the body. When we apply that to what is called the potential renal acid load, and this is a function of how we test a product or a food to see if it's going to have an acidic effect or an alkalizing effect on the body, CalciAIM is the most alkalizing product in the AIM product line, even more than Barley Life. It's very close. Barley Life and CalciAIM are kind of neck and neck on this, but CalciAIM is one of the most alkalizing products in the AIM product line based on the potential renal acid load calculation. So not only are you getting structural benefits to your frame, which is so important as we age, we want to prevent things like any kind of breaks that can occur as we age from falling, but we're also alkalizing the body on top of that, which we know is beneficial for the body in the long term. Well, I hope you really enjoyed today's podcast about CalciAIM and learned a little bit about kind of the science behind what's going on in the glass. And I can't wait for our next podcast. See you next time.
The statements made herein have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or other regulatory agencies. AIM products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Any testimonials should not be construed as representing results everyone can achieve. You've been listening to AIM Products for Nutrition That Works. Please join us again.